That is the worst thing. And that's called the Sota section of Parashat. What is that dealing with? When a husband in his imagination that his wife is having relations with someone else. It's a very severe matter. What does the Torah do in order to rectify this matter? It could be that the suspicion is true, or it could just be imagination. The Torah donates for the purpose of making Shlom Bayit the Holy Temple, the most important place in the world for the Jewish people. The Kohanim are applied. The name of God is used to the extent that it could be erased. A tremendous effort is made for the purpose of Shlom Bayit. If truthfully, if the wife was not proper and she was with someone else, then she'll be punished terribly. If not, then everything is okay. The Rabbi would like to explain this matter. Why after the Torah dedicates so much building the Mishkan, the building blocks, financing of it, suddenly transfers to from the public home to the private home, from the Beit HaMikdash to a private home. In human society, the most important thing is the family unit, the family cell. Why is it so? That's how society is built upon. Families and families. Whereas animals, they live in flocks sometimes, like lambs, ants, bees. But human society does not do that. Human society is built based upon family cells. A healthy society is that families live amongst their own families with peace with one another. That's the subject called Shlom Bayit. Furthermore, the Rabbi would like to explain. Today, in our modern era, the biggest crisis in the Western world is the family cell. As far as the divorce rate is concerned, in Israel, we're up to a 30% divorce rate. Whereas in Europe,
30%.
13.
באירופה? In Europe?
13%.
13 or 30%?
30.
1-3 or 3-0?
One of three. הוא טוען שבאירופה זה 33%. It could be. In America? It's a terrible situation in the U.S. And people say that. The percentages of divorce is okay, but those that have yet to divorce, their situation is even worse. Huh?
No.
What should be done? How do we rectify that a family should be normal? How do we rectify these matters? We have normal families. Does it interest you?
כן.
Should I tell you how?
כן.
First of all, come to Machon Meir. The most important thing is not just to get married. What type of atmosphere is in the home? And the most important atmosphere, you must have trust. To bring about Shalom Bayit in a family. On the children, on the neighbors, society, and so on. That's the first subject of the question. Questions regarding this matter? Anyone? Huh?
I don't really have a question, but I come from Los Angeles, and I'm going through that, what he's describing exactly, so...
הוא בא מלוס אנג'לס. הוא מכיר את המציאות שם.
So I'm married, civilly, but...
הוא טוען שהוא נשוי מבחינת...
My wife, she grew up no concept of God. God is just a word.
אשתו גדלה בלי שום מושג של אלוקות אמונה באלוקים. זה סתם היה מילה.
And my whole life journey, just trying to do the right thing all the time.
לעומת המסע החיים שלי, זה למצוא את הדבר הנכון לעשות בחיים.
There's still nothing we can do to change someone, and even though God can change someone, He will not force anyone.
אלוקים לא יכפה על אף אחד להשתנות, אדם צריך להשתנות מעצמו. You're right.
I came here, this is the perfect timing. I really needed to hear this. Today is the first day I took my ring off. I left my whole life behind in Los Angeles.
שהוא עזב את החיים שלו בחו"ל, הוא הוריד את הטבעת שלו, והוא רוצה להתחיל חיים חדשים.
אני מברך אותך שתצליח.
So Rav is giving you a blessing to be successful. Shakov. Now, any other questions, gentlemen, regarding the Rav? Rav will go to the second subject.
תזכיר לי את מה שאתה אומר.
What you're saying, the Rav, it reminds the Rav.
למד כאן לפני שהקימו את המכון.
Prior to establishing Machon Meir, 50...
מישהו שחזר בתשובה.
Someone repented, became a Chozer B'Tshuva.
הוא התחתן עם אישה דתייה.
He did get married to a religious woman.
ועברו וגרו בלוס אנג'לס.
And he moved to L.A.
איפה אתה היה?
Where you live.
נולדו להם 3 ילדים.
There are 3 kids born there.
אולי 4.
Maybe 4, I don't remember, the Rav says.
יום אחד הוא מטלפן אליי.
One day he calls me up from L.A.
אשתי אמרה שהיא רוצה להתגרש ממני.
And he says, my wife wants me to give her a
אני
divorce.
חייב לבוא אליך.
I must come over to you and take advice.
מה לעשות?
What should I do?
אני לא יודע אם אתם יודעים איפה זה לוס אנג'לס.
I don't know if you know where L.A. is, but it's the end of the world. קצה העולם.
לקח מטוס.
He took a plane.
טס מלוס אנג'לס.
From L.A.
לארץ ישראל.
to New York and then to Israel.
And
they came to Machon Meir. And he's crying to me. I asked her, why does she want a divorce? I don't know. She said she worked in a certain place and she fell in love with the boss of the place. And she wants a divorce. What should I do? He asks the Rav. You have to close your mouth, that's number 1. Go back to LA. I don't know, you're an engineer in a top company. But I'm asking you a question. Tell me, does she watch movies? All day she watches movies. Of what? Of Hollywood. So it's no wonder that she wants a divorce, because what is she watching? What type of movies is she watching? Simple. That's the culture. She sees examples in the film productions, the values that they're showing. That's the culture. That's unfortunate. That's not the only reason the Rav is saying she wants a divorce. But everything starts with culture, values. So you reminded me Los Angeles. Today he came back to Israel. Ima mishpacha.
הילדים התחתנו, הכל
His
בסדר.
children got married. They're okay now.
אמרתי לו, אל תגיד, אהבה בנוסח הוליווד.
Their love was like the version of Hollywood.
היום אתה אוהב, מחר אתה לא
Today you
אוהב.
love, tomorrow you don't love. It's not real love. What's
זה
it?
יעבור לה.
The Rav was hoping that it will pass away from her, and it passed away from her. Zavarla.
אבל זה טרגדיה.
But it's a tragedy that's happening today in North America.
לא טרגדיה של בן אדם אחד.
It's not a tragedy of one person.
טרגדיה עולמית.
It's a world tragedy that's happening today.
הכל מתחיל מתרבות.
And everything starts with culture.
יש בית שיש בו אמון אחד.
If there's a home based on trust with one another,
בסדר.
then it's fine.
אם אוהבים באמת אחד את השני.
If there's really true love,
ונאמנים אחד
and
לשני.
you're faithful to one another,
בית נורמלי.
that's a normal house.
ואם לא,
And if not,
בלאגן!
it's the opposite.
איך אומרים באנגלית?
How do you say balagan?
בלאגן.
Balagan. It's a worldwide word.
אז זה נושא אחר.
That's one subject.
העניין של שלום בית. כמה התורה מתאמצת
The key here is how much the Torah writes. It's a very lengthy chapter, the section of the Sota word,
שהבעל לא יקנא באשתו.
that in order that the husband will not come to be envy and warning his wife that he doesn't have trust in her.
דבר שני,
Second subject
הפרשה שלנו.
In this parsha, when it's
קודם כל שאלות לגבי הדבר הזה. יש שאלות.
any questions regarding the Jewish home?
מישהו רוצה להתחתן?
Anyone here would like to get married?
כן.
איך אני יודע אם האישה היא בסדר?
How would you know to choose a proper wife if she's okay or not?
נו,
Puts God first.
Huh?
מה הוא אומר?
What are you saying?
I said if she puts God first.
In Isamet Elokim Rishon.
Very good. למה?
Why is the Rav saying this?
זה נכון.
That's correct.
להתחתן זה ההחלטה הכי חשובה
The
בחיים.
most important decision in your life is to with whom to get married
זה העתיד.
for your future.
זה לא שאתה קונה נעליים.
It's not that you're buying a pair of shoes now today. You're choosing these shoes.
זה משהו אחר. איך מקבלים החלטה נכונה?
How do you come to a proper decision
למי להתחתן?
with whom to get married?
אני למשל,
The Rav, for
זה
instance,
סיפור אישי.
I'll tell you a personal story the Rav said.
אפשר ללמוד מזה
You
משהו.
can learn something from this.
לפני שהתחתנתי,
Prior to the Rav getting married,
היה לי דייט.
I was on a date.
איך אומרים באנגלית?
Date. לא תמילה.
דייט? והייתה בחורה, מאוד אהבתי אותה.
Yeah, she was a young lady. I very much loved her.
רציתי להתחתן.
I wanted to marry her.
באנו לעשות אירוסין,
Let's make an engagement.
אבל היה לי ספק
But I had a doubt
אם יש בה יראת שמיים או לא.
if she does or not have Yirat Shamayim, fear of heaven.
לא ידעתי מה לעשות.
I didn't know what to do.
הלכתי לרב ציון.
I went to Rav Tzu the cook,
הרב הזה כאן.
not the Rav,
הרב כאן.
the only son of Rabbi Avraham Asa, Rosh HaYeshivah of Merkaz HaYeshivah.
אמרתי לו, תראה, אני
And I told him the following:
אם יש בה יראת שמיים.
I don't know if she does or doesn't have Yirat Shamayim.
אז הוא לא הכיר אותה.
The Rav didn't know her.
אמר, תראה, אתה תבדוק.
Is it alarm? Can you close it? Okay, it's fine.
אתה תבדוק
The Rav says to Rav Dov Begon,
אם היא מכבדת רבנים או
check,
לא.
investigate, does she or not respect Torah scholars?
אם היא לא מכבדת...
If she doesn't give respect to Torah
אין לה
scholars,
יראת שמיים.
then she doesn't really have Yirat Shamayim.
היא בחורה דתייה.
And she was a religious girl, by the way.
הלכנו, אני זוכר אפילו איפה.
We went out on a date that Rav remembers.
ברחוב קריית משה.
We went on Kiryat Moshe Street over here.
ואני שואל אותה,
And I asked her the following question.
מה את אומרת על הרב הזה?
What do you say about this, Rav?
טיפש.
He's stupid.
סינילי.
He's senile, whatever.
אמרתי לה, ביי.
The Rav dumped her at that moment, I think.
מזל שהיה לי את הרב ציודה.
I was fortunate that I had Rav Tzu to give me the proper advice. Of course.
לשאול. גם אתם, מי רוצה להתחתן כאן?
So if you like to get married, who wants to get married here? prior to getting married, ask me for advice regarding your marriage. Very important decision. Although it's not the only reason. But you must know, you must marry a person that can contain the different type of person. Someone who's different. Ask the Rav why. I lived, the Rav says, 54 years with his wife, in blessed memory. 3 years ago she passed away. And she was so different than me. Totally different than me. She was different than me. She was a very strong-minded woman. And the Rav was, soft type of Rav. Is it okay to marry someone that's different than you?
Yeah.
That's the secret. To know how to live with someone that's not like you. Can you? Are you mature enough? Fine. If not, then mature and develop yourself. Come to Machon Meir. Study some Torah. Fix your midot. That's the most important thing. Questions?
You talk about having trust is so important. How do you actually do that, especially in the early stages?
Prior to marriage, you date, and you try to understand who she's about. Let's suppose that you know who she is. After marriage, the Gemara states it's very important. First year of marriage, the Torah says you shall be clean to your home, meaning to devote your time. You develop in your marriage in the first year every effort that you can do to live together with the wife. Not that you get married and you went off the coop, you fled. You have to devote time to her. Ask the Rav why. To live together, how do you say galgal shinayim? It's like two wheels of teeth that have to come together, one into the other. What's it called? Gears? Thank you. In the first part of the marriage, you're brushing off one or the other. There's some friction until you get accustomed to one another. Everyone is living at their pace and their nature. It's not a simple thing the first year of marriage. A woman, for instance, she goes to a wedding. It takes her time to prepare herself, get dressed, to put up makeup and all this, until she chooses which dress and which cover hair. I put on a white shirt, blue slacks, and I'm ready to go to the wedding. It's still happening to me until today. Do what I do, the Rav says. At the beginning, I was angry. We said we're leaving at 7 p.m. And now it's 8:30 already. The Rav got angered. Where are you? It took me time to understand that a woman is not just like, she just puts on her dress and just leaves, just like that, like a man is ready. I would tell her that psychologically, let's leave at 6, so in order to leave at 7. And then we left at 8 o'clock, I was happy. That's just for an example. We got accustomed to living together. She at her pace, me at my pace. אז עדיין צריך לעבוד על עצמי.
דוגמה, אבל בכל דבר.
But this is clear for every case.
את השונה.
To be able to contain someone that's different.
זה עבודה.
That is work. It's a lot.
עבודה יומיומית.
On a daily basis, it's a hard work.
יומיומית. מישהו עוד רוצה להתחתן.
Anyone here would like to still get married?
I
have a question. And Lenoam Yeshela.
You talked about being mature enough to marry someone that's different than you. But there's so many different kehilot and different communities in Judaism. And does the Rav mean to try to find someone from a different kehillah or to still...
כשהרב דיבר על השוני, האם הרב התכוון, הרי היום יש כל כך הרבה קהילות שונות בארץ, דתיות וכו', האם התכוונת להתחתן עם מישהי מקהילה אחרת או מישהו בתוך הקהילה שלך?
העיקר שאתם באותו ראש.
The main thing is you agree with major things together.
יכול להיות חב"דניק.
She could be a Chabadnik.
ליטבק.
She could be a Litvak. That really is not the major difference. In certain congregations or communities in Israel, especially amongst the Haredim, it's very important that you only marry inside that kehillah. I'll tell you a story. Would you like to hear the story? The Rav had a chavruta, a very big scholar. We would learn together. And then he says to the Rav, I have a problem in life. What's your problem? They recommended for my daughter someone with around a circular hat. What's a circular hat? I didn't know what's going on. It was a Haredi man. I asked, what's a circular hat about? Hasidim go with this type of circular hat. And my wife, the mother, I'm ready to die, that my wife doesn't marry someone with a circular hat. That's what the scholar said to her. I said, oh my gosh. The Lita'im, they have a different type of hat. The Rab doesn't know from these hats or those hats, but that's what his chavruta posed the problem to him. It's a tragedy that the mother thinks this way. What, are you getting married with a hat? To a hat. You're getting married to a hat. That doesn't make you the person. In the end, they get to get married. With a circular hat. Correct. In certain communities here in Israel, they're very strict amongst the one themselves. They can only marry inside the community. But we're not like that. With that, not with that, doesn't make a difference. The most important part of when I was a single person those years ago, I met a very dear Jew, Rabbi Hanan Pora, a great teacher from Sichot. Both of us we were older singles in the yeshiva, in the Rav Kook yeshiva. One day they suggested a shidduch of a Haredi family. But they told me, if you come, with a sweater and shirt, they're not going to accept you. Don't come that way. What? Yes. Buy a jacket, suit, wear a hat, and a tie. That's how you go meet the shidduch offered this date. I asked Hanan Porat, what do you say, Rav Hanan Porat? It's not. The Rav comes from a kibbutz. Hanan says to the Rav, what do you care? If you go with a hat, or a silly hat, or a helmet, what does it make a difference? The main thing is you get married already. In the end, the Rav went to the shidduch. It didn't work out. Nothing came out. And I used the suit later on for Purim. That's an answer to your question, sir. Shakoach Harav.